Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of LBAM Radio, the podcast dedicated to informing you on the toy we all love, Lego. I'm Canaan May, here again at the mic, a month late. I've been having some sinus issues for the past couple of days. That's why my voice might sound a little different than the last episode, but I apologize for that. But I really do need to get this episode out because there has been some news that really needs to be discussed. Now, why is this episode taken so long to come out? Well, a week after I recorded episode 2, I recorded episode 3. But when I played it back, I was so tired after the events that had happened that day that I just couldn't listen to what I was saying because it was just, I was so tired, and I decided I'd trash that episode. So that's what happened. And then the weeks that followed, I was on vacation from one weekend to the next weekend, and, well, now it's this weekend. So maybe not a complete month. But, you know, I wish it was out sooner. I actually did bring my recorder to record during vacation, but I just got caught up in resting and stuff. So, yeah. But there has been a lot of news I need to talk about, so that's why I'm really doing this episode. Even though I don't feel the best. Hopefully, you know, you'll get what I'm saying. But first off is, what have I been doing with the brick? Well, I've spent the past couple of days, since I haven't felt real good, I haven't done a whole lot of filming. I just purchased the Battle at the Black Gate. It's a Lord of the Rings set, if you don't know. But it's pretty cool. Not too awesome. It's not big enough, I think, than what they should have done the final battle as. But, you know, they did it, and I can't change it, so, you know, leave it at that. But, anyway, so I finally got Gandalf the White, which was a real draw for me, because I really like Gandalf the White. And, well, I'm taking a little break from my Fellowship of the Ring video series. Even though the first part isn't even out. But you know, with long projects like this, you need to take breaks. So I'm taking a short break, and I'm doing another shorter video. Hopefully it won't take too long. And it'll be up in, I don't know, maybe a month or so, I hope. I'm kind of going back and forth between it and the Fellowship. I'm not going to say what it is, because it may not happen. It's pretty hard. But hopefully it'll be cool in the end. But, yeah. So, that's what I've been doing as far as filming. But I haven't filmed too much, like I said, because I haven't felt real well. So for the past couple of days, I've just been sorting. I bought more bins to sort with my Legos. And where I had my Legos sorted before is basically all my sets that I had taken apart. Mostly non-licensed sets, I had bagged up into their individual sets. I was like, why leave them like that when I could actually use the parts for my videos? And I don't know, if I ever wanted to make a mock, I could use those too. But, so I was like, okay, I'll dump all these bags out and sort through them. So that's what I did. Bought a couple more bins. And, I'm still not done yet. So, yeah. I might post the pictures or something of it, on my Tumblr page, which I'll link to in the description, and such. So that's what I've been doing. Brick film of the week. I've decided to pick Fancy Pants' The Clone Halloween 2. It was like if you watch the first Clone Halloween, you know, it kind of ended off in a cliffhanger, but it was kind of meant that way, so it would be funny. Well, Fancy Pants, as many of you know, has returned from his 2-year absence. Has now done a second Clone Halloween where Bridge and Gus have gotten in trouble for killing an innocent person in his house. But there's a twist at the end that, in a sense, is weird, but funny. So I would highly suggest you watch it. On to CUUSOO Project of the Week. As many of you know, there has been a certain television series that has just almost... It's like number one, at least here in America, and that would be Duck Dynasty. Yes. And I happen to be one of those 11.5 million viewers. So, my CUUSOO project of the week is the Duck Dynasty project. The creator of the project's name has slipped my mind, but I will link to it in the description as well. So please support it. And something I want to address right here is I may be a little late on talking about this as far as current news concerning this, but it has been an issue for really ever since the internet has been around. But I'm gonna address Lego and CUUSOO specifically. As many of you may remember, a couple of months ago, Brick Queen lost her CUUSOO account for whatever reason. It never was fully figured out what the deal was, I don't think. But the end result was she lost her CUUSOO account. What she said was people started blocking her and flagging her as being a bad person on CUUSOO. Which I didn't do that, and really, I never thought she was a bad person, and apparently a lot of people didn't either. But for whatever reason, some people did, and because of that, Lego was like, "You're being suspended from CUUSOO forever," I believe. Mainly because she had a mock that was resembled, I think, another person's mock, but I believe the other person's mock had been posted after she had posted hers. I really don't know what the deal was, but I'm just gonna say, people don't comment on mocks. I'm calling them mocks. They're really CUUSOO projects that you don't like, and you say awful things about them. Be encouraging. Say, hey, well, why don't you add this, or you should do this. Not, this looks awful because you didn't put this in, or I hate this, or whatever. I mean, come on, people. This is Legos. Don't be like that, people. So please be considerate of other people's time that they have put into their CUUSOO projects. There are some CUUSOO projects that I don't like, but I don't go around and post comments on them saying this is awful. I wasn't all for them doing the Curiosity Mars rover. I would much rather have had the Legends of Zelda, because that is a pretty cool game, although I don't have it. I've seen it before. But that's what Lego chose, and I didn't support that project, but I didn't go and comment saying, hey, this is an awful project. Just be considerate of other people. And if someone does comment on your projects, being critical, don't go to their site, their CUUSOO page, and start flagging them and commenting bad stuff on their projects either. So, be considerate of people, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. So on with the news. Last week my topic was about the new, well, not last week, last time, my topic was about the new Hobbit sets, and I got to thinking, that really should have gone in the news. A topic really shouldn't be, like, news and stuff, so From now on, my topics will not be concerning news, but this week there's a whole lot of news, so I'm not even going to have a topic per se, unless you just want to call the news the topic for this week. But so yeah, basically we over the past month or so we've gotten pictures for the new Lego Movie sets, the new Friends sets, the new Disney Princesses sets, new Creator sets, new Star Wars sets, and new Ninjago sets. So that's what I'm basically going to be talking about today. So first off is the Lego Movie sets. I've seen all the previews, including every single teaser for the Lego Movie. And from what I've seen, I can't really tell if this is CGI or if this is stop motion or both. It's kind of confusing there, but that's not really what I'm going to discuss right now. But basically, these sets look to be, the majority of them are, like for example, there's this like Knight's Kingdom hover tank made out of Kingdom Castle parts, is what it appears to be, like a hover tank made out of a castle. And then there's a fire truck mech and a barn that's a helicopter. So basically what I am noticing in most of these sets is that Lego is turning our normal sets into war machines, I guess you could say. Although I really don't think the film is going to be severely violent, but there is going to be, battles. Basically Lego video game style fighting. No blood or anything. I really wouldn't think that. What it appears to be is that in the film, the people have gotten fed up with whatever is going on, and they're turning their vehicles into battle machines. Like we have a ice cream truck that has rocket launchers, a garbage truck with teeth, and in each one of these we have some sort of squared robot with like red eyes. Each one of them, at first glance, looks the same, but actually they're all different. And then we have Lord Business's Plan's Hideout and Cloud Cuckoo. I really don't know how it's pronounced. But those are the only two where I think we don't get any vehicle that was based off of a previous Lego model that has been turned into a war machine. No Batman in these sets, because basically I guess he has his own theme, as do the Ninja Turtles, who I think also at least briefly appear in the Lego Movie, from what I've seen and heard and read. And we also are getting Series 12 minifigures that are from the Lego Movie. Now, some of these minifigures may look like some we get in sets, but in fact all of them are exclusive. Like, we actually get an Abraham Lincoln minifigure, which is pretty nice, I guess. The first Lego president. At least for Americans, I guess that's cool. But and I'm a American, by the way, if anyone was wondering. But all of them are exclusive. Some of them look a little weird. On the weird side, like there's this lady robot that just isn't just right. She just isn't right. I mean, like in old Western clothing or something. And there's like this cowboy robot, and stuff. So we'll just see how the movie pans out. So now, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we also have seen some of the new superhero sets. I'm not gonna comment too long about them because I'm not much of a superhero person anyway, and I haven't looked at them very much. But basically we have the Batcopter, or it's fighting Man-Bat, and Man-Bat is basically the same parts that we got from the, what was it, Monster Fighters? Yeah, Monster Fighters in 2012 with the man bats or whatever, the vampires. So he's basically the same parts, I guess, with the wings in between his arms. So that's kind of cool, although I probably still won't get it because I don't buy superhero stuff much at all. So not gonna comment too much about those. There is one with the penguin. That's pretty cool, I guess. For superhero collectors and fans. But we also have some creator stuff. There's one called Furry Creatures, I think, where it's like you can make a mouse and a cat, and you can also change it into a dog and stuff. So that's kind of cool-ish. I don't buy creator stuff either, so I'm not much to comment on those. But we're also getting Disney princesses this year, which wasn't really announced till about 2 months ago, I think. But basically, the Disney princesses are using the same parts as far as the mini dolls as the friends. So we're not getting minifigure Cinderellas and Rapunzels and stuff like that. We're getting mini dolls. Basically kind of a branch off from Friends, I guess. Just it's licensed. But what more needs to be said? We're getting, I believe, 3 or 4 different princesses. I really don't know their names. As you can obviously tell, I am a boy, and I don't watch princess movies at all. Or at least in a long, long while. Not since I was like a little kid or whatever. But I will not be buying these sets as with the friends. So I can't say too much about them because I haven't looked at them much either. But I'm just gonna tell you from the outside, I will not. You won't be seeing me in Walmart picking these up. Now there is what's the other thing? I think that's all the news. Oh yeah, there are a couple of city stuff, but as seen before, this is basically the same old city. We're getting boats, a garbage truck, I think, and some cars, and I think some more police. City is like one of those. It's in some senses worse than Star Wars in creating remakes, because with Star Wars we get the same set about maybe every 3 or 4 years, whereas City it's like every other year we're getting a police station. Yeah, we got a police station in 2008. In 2011 we got a police station. Well, maybe not every other year, maybe every 3 years. And in between that, we got a fire station every 3 years. So basically, every 3 years, we're getting the same stuff, if not even more frequent. If you've been collecting City ever since it was first released in the late 70s, I think it was 79, then you would have more stuff for City than probably exists in any city in the world. But I mean, I don't buy City either. So that's all I'm gonna say about them. Now we have the Ninjago sets. We are going to be getting a Ninjago Season 3 on television, which I will be watching and commenting on when it comes out. So I will be keeping you up to date in Ninjago news. But if I buy the sets will depend upon how good the TV show is, seeing as we already had the quote-unquote final battle. This is kind of strange, but I am glad the theme is coming back. I don't like Chima. I'm not a Chima person. but I am into Ninjago somewhat, so I am happy it's coming back. Basically, we're getting Mecha Dragon, and apparently Sensei Wu has turned evil because he's the one driving the Mecha Dragon, which is evil. Garmadon, if you remember from the end of Season 2, has turned good. But for whatever reason now, Wu has turned bad. And somehow there's these ninjroids that are helping him. Then we have a ninja helicopter with Zane and this new female robot who appears to be good, named Pixel. I don't know where she comes from. And then there's the Kai Fighter. No, I did not say TIE Fighter. Kai Fighter. In which there's basically Kai and he's in an airplane fighting a ninjroid. There's one with Lloyd on the motorbike. And I think that was called Cyborg. No, Overborg Attack. He's fighting this cyborg dude. And there's one with Cole in the mech. And Jay in the Tumbler. Or something like that. Thunder Tank or something like that. It looks a lot smaller. It looks almost like a smaller version of the Ultrasonic Raider from 2012. But and then there's of course the Impulse $12 sets with Cole and a little hover tank for the Ninjroid with a saw blade on the front, which I will most definitely get that, especially for the saw blade piece. Now there appears to be some sort of new weapon of Spinjitzu. I don't know if this is necessarily a weapon of Spinjitzu like the original ones, and then we had the elemental blades for the final battle sets. But I don't really know what these are. It appears that in each weapon it's different. The green one has a chain and a handle. The yellow one has a saw blade at the bottom of it, and of course the drill on the top. The red one, I don't remember what that one looks like, and the white one has looks like a staff with the blade on the top of it. So I don't know what these are, but it will be interesting to see what these are. So I'll be waiting most definitely for the TV show, and I believe the TV show starts on December the 1st or the 2nd, one of those dates. So I will be trying to keep you guys up to date with Ninjago news. I think that's all the news sets that have been leaked. Now on to Star Wars. Now, Star Wars, at least so far, has had the least amount of leaked pictures into the overall public that people have posted. But there have been several watermarked images that people have taken out of catalogs, taken with their cameras, and posted on Flickr that I have found. I don't think I can link to those because I might get in trouble from LEGO, but I will say that I have seen them. But I've also seen the official images that have been posted on Brickset as well. So those are the only ones that I can tell you to go see. At the moment, they are on the home page. Or if you just want to see the individual sets, just go to 2014 Star Wars LEGO sets on Brickset.com. So basically, we're getting a whole bunch of Episode 3 sets. The reason being is because, if you remember in 2011, George Lucas said, hey, I'm going to re-release every Star Wars film in 3D remastered every year. So we had Episode 1, and we got a whole bunch of Episode 1 sets. We had Episode 2 that was scheduled to come out actually this month. It didn't come out. Why? Well, something happened in 2012. I think it was September 13th. Known as the Disney takeover. No, it really wasn't a takeover. Basically, George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, which included the Star Wars and Indiana Jones license. So, because of that, Star Wars and Disney came out that same day and said, hey, we're going to make episode 7 using George Lucas's concepts for the following films that were never made and such. So, because of that, they were like, we're not going to, at least at the moment, not release these films in 3D. Because we're working hard on these, and why there's not really any reason why we should. So, because of that, the toy companies were expecting that, yes, we were going to see these out. That's why when you go to the action figure aisle at your local toy store, that you will see a whole bunch of Episode 3 action figures, and that's why we are seeing a whole bunch of Episode 3 sets coming out next year, and that's why we had a whole bunch of Episode 2 sets this year. But basically, almost every single set coming out at the beginning of next year, or winter this year, depending on when LEGO officially releases them, are Episode 3 sets. There are only 3 that are not. One is the Coruscant Police Fighter, I think is Coruscant Police Gunship. We do not have pictures for that set. The Republic Cannon, I don't know its exact name, but is basically the same cannon that we saw in the LEGO Star Wars 3 video game that you could... Well, it's not exactly the same, but it's basically the same cannon, just not using the same pieces. And we're getting the Death Star Trooper Battle Pack, which that set comes with some Imperial helmets that people have been waiting on for so long, including me. I really want that set. Now, besides those, we are getting a whole bunch of Episode 3 sets. A good many of them are rehashes of, the ones we got in 2005 and 2007, and one in 2008. But they are really updated, I think, and we're getting a whole bunch of awesome characters. Now, if you don't like Episode 3 because, it was the darkest Star Wars film thus far, then of course you probably won't like the sets too much, but Episode 3 is my favorite film of all time. I mean, it beats Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, all those films, yeah. But Star Wars Episode 3, that was like the number one film for me. But basically, most of these sets are dealing with either the Battle of over Coruscant, or the Battle of Kashyyyk, or the Battle of Utapau. We don't have any Mustafar sets. I think we might be able to expect those later in the year. Because those will be, if they are big sets. That's when we normally get our bigger sets. We get our smaller sets normally at the beginning of the year, and our bigger sets at the end of the year, or in the summer. So, for the Episode 3 sets, we're getting Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, the yellow version, Vulture Droid Starfighter with Neomordian. A Neomordian, just for those who don't know, is an alien in Star Wars. Basically the same alien as Newt Gunray. General Grievous's Wheelbike, Tri-Fighter. We don't have pictures for that one yet. AT-AP Walker, which the picture for that was released at Comic-Con San Diego earlier this year. The Droid Gunship, which that one includes a new version of Chewbacca. Yes, finally, a new Chewbacca. I'm getting tired of the same old Chewbacca without eyes. That really annoys me. He's like blind. But I'll talk more about that later. But okay, the droid gunship, the Battle of Seleucium, I think is how it's pronounced. Uh, Utapau Trooper Battle Pack, Kashyyyk Trooper Battle Pack. And I believe that's it. Yeah, no Darth Vader transformation, no Battle of Mustafar, no Jedi Temple. I really want Jedi Temple. And no Darth Sidious versus Yoda in the Senate. Although I think we will get one of those possibly later in the year, but it just kind of depends upon what Lego does. So, we're getting a new Chewbacca, which is awesome. The pictures for it has surfaced on eBay. So, yeah. He does look a lot better than our past Chewbaccas. A lot more realistic, better hair, different texture, tones with printing, eyes, finally, and of course his nose, and the mandolin, or whatever, that he holds his blaster cartridges on. Now something I noticed in all of the battle packs is that most of the clone troopers, if not all of them, do not carry the standard blaster that we've been getting since 2007. Instead, at first glance, they appear to be holding the old ion cannons that we got from 99 to 2006. Now, is Lego regressing or degressing, I guess is the word, and giving us ion cannons instead of regular standard blasters? No. If you take a closer look, you will notice that they are not the old ion blasters, but they are actually spring-loaded blasters that shoot Lego studs. Yes, we are getting weapons that actually fire. This is awesome. I am this is awesome. Now brick filmers may not like this as much, but we are still getting our old blasters as well. So do not fear. But in all the battle packs, we are getting these new blasters. Which look awesome. Well, they don't really look awesome, but what they do is awesome. They don't look awesome because they look chunky and fat. But what they do is awesome. Supposedly what they're supposed to do is they can somehow shoot studs. The little circle pieces, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And basically, you press a button on them, and it shoots the stud. I mean, this is really cool. So I'm real excited about these, even more so than I am the new Chewbacca. And we are also getting an updated R2-D2. From what I've seen, there is a little more detail on the neck of R2-D2. And he's got more of a metallic look instead of just plain gray on the top of his head. And we're getting, of course, a new Anakin Skywalker, a new Obi-Wan, a new General Grievous, which is what I'm really happy about in the Utapau chase. Well, not Utapau. General Grievous's bike set. Now, that set does not come with Obi-Wan's lizard, Boga, which I was real upset about. But, maybe we'll get one later this year, and it'll be like, I don't know, $20 or something, and we put them together, and we have the whole chase. Which I think would be awesome. But, we'll just have to see about that as well. But the set does look cool. It's basically one wheel, and you can just roll it along wherever you want to go. We have the AT-AP Walker, which looks very similar to the one in 2008 with a little more detail. It comes with Commander Gree, which is awesome. And Tarful. Our first Tarful, official Tarful, although the older Wookiee warriors could have been considered. Tarful, but they really weren't. They were just kind of generic Wookiees, but this is the official Tarful. As well as some battle droids, and basically all the battle droids are the same ones we've been getting since 99. What else? We're also getting a Neomordian, our first generic Neomordian, with some sort of hat, I think, is what the watermarked pictures showed. Let me see. Is there anything? The Utapau troopers. We are getting new clone special forces helmets, which is really awesome as well. All these clones this year, I am hoping to collect all of them. In fact, I am seriously considering putting my Lord of the Rings collection on hold so as I can buy all of these Episode 3 sets because they are just looking so awesome. Especially the clone troopers. I have always loved the Episode 3 clone troopers. And, well, Episode 3, in just the whole movie, I just loved. So I am really hoping to get at least a good many of them. Especially the clone troopers. That's what I'm really focusing on. And the new Anakin Interceptor and General Grievous' wheelbike. Those are just awesome. But we'll just have to wait and see. If I get them all. Or at least I will. Let me think. Is there anything else that really needs to be pointed out? We are getting a clone trooper pilot as well with the V-Wing and an astromech droid. Red astromech droid. And I guess that's really all that needs to be said. In the Death Star Trooper Battle Pack, we are getting Imperial Guards as well. Imperial Royal Guards, I think is their actual name. And they have a different weapon than what we've normally got. I don't know if this is supposed to be their same force pike that we have gotten in previous sets. Just in previous sets, they were spears. I don't know what type of weapon they're really supposed to be holding, but what does it matter? We're getting a whole bunch of troops this year. This year is like the army building year for clone fans. And, the vehicles are awesome as well. I don't want it to sound like I'm just buying these sets for the minifigures because the vehicles are just looking so awesome as well. But we just have to. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's really all I need to say about the Star Wars stuff. I spent so much time talking about them, and not a lot of time talking about the other stuff because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Maybe that comes out too clearly, but yeah. So now we're at close to like the end of the podcast. So now I want to give you kind of what my plans are for the podcast, at least for the next couple of weeks. I do have a interview lined up, hopefully in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, with someone probably a lot of you know. I'm not going to say who it is, because you'll just have to wait and see. But, hopefully, I'll be able to get him on, and I'll interview him. I still don't have a co-host, obviously, but, the search continues. So, yeah, I guess that's really all that's going on. I really hope to get the episodes out every week for the rest of the year, except for, Thanksgiving weekend, because, of course, I'll be busy, and I know a lot of you will, at least in America, will be as well. I may do a special Christmas episode, either the day before or the day after Christmas. Maybe. Don't hold me to that. But we'll just have to see that if that pans out as well. Okay, guys. This is the end of the podcast or episode or whatever you like to call it, for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe if you like what you hear. And I'm more than open to suggestions and interview suggestions and suggestions for topics you would like me to talk about. If you would like some more information, please email me at lbambricks@gmail.com. That's LBAMBRICKS@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and please note this podcast is not affiliated with the Lego Company in any way, shape, or form. This is Canaan May, signing off.
I'm living in a Lego house. I'm sitting in a Lego chair. I'm watching my Lego TV in my Lego underwear. And is it ever lumpy?